Hey water signs, how y'all doing? Welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at your Yule season messages. So we're going to be using a new spread called the Evergreen Wreath Spread. So we're going to be taking a look at where you are during Yule season, what you need to let go of, what you need to embrace, and what will result from doing so, along with a beautiful Yule oracle that I'm using today. So just a reminder, the season of Yule is December 21st through February 2nd, which is when Imbolc begins and the first buds of spring start to arrive. So during this time period, traditionally this is about, at least in the northern hemisphere, it's different in the southern hemisphere, of course. Now, about another 6 months, they'll be where we are now in Yule in the northern hemisphere. But this is really about, mirroring nature. So as the trees lose their leaves, as everything begins to, die around us before it's reborn in the spring, we have this opportunity to mirror what nature is doing and do the same and receive benefit from doing so, because when we align ourselves with the seasons, we're able to get the most out of it, energetically speaking. So with that being said, where you are now for Yule season is the Ace of Swords, and I'm so here for it because the Ace of Swords is the marker. It is the tarot energetic equivalent of Yule season. So you've got the signifier for Yule within the tarot, which is like, okay, water signs, hello to being, in alignment and in the know. That's brilliant. So traditionally speaking, Ace of Swords, the tagline for, this key is the answers lie in the stillness. Well, hello, Yule time is all about that stillness and that inner movement and stillness, right? So Ace of Swords is really about that great clarity that comes, those big ideas that come, the clear communication, the writing, the thinking. It's really about that clear mind that gives way to those big aha moments, which is always good. But also, let's talk about the sword suit a little bit, because here, what you need to let go of is the Three of Swords, which is about heart pain that also extends to the mind. So it causes a lot of mental unease as well. And what's interesting about it is that, the suit of swords, it's not the most warm and cuddly. It's a bit sharp, As a water sign, it's not your natural element. But the thing is that the suit of swords, the mind isn't right. And it's so easily affected, right? By anything. Like the mind is just one of those parts of ourselves that we need to tend to like a garden, because it's really, really easy for it to go astray and cause anxiety and sadness and distorted perception and all of these things, right? A lot of the times rooted in attachment, right? So with this Three of Swords coming up in this position is something to release, and you're in an Ace of Swords position. The past really has no place. It's so human of us, especially as water signs. It's like, that you're very intuitive, very emotional, especially within the energy of Yule time. When we welcome the stillness, when we really assume the Yule position, as it were, a lot of the stuff from the past can kind of come up and rear its head and be like, oh, hey, you didn't deal with me yet. So I'm going to come up when you're being still and not distracting yourself. And I'm going to, torture you or, or haunt you or all of these things. On the flip side, it's the good memories as well that can come of taking some time and inner movement and stillness. And that's why the mind is such an interesting aspect of ourselves that we really need to nurture, like we would, a plant that we love very much, right? Giving a lot of TLC and time and attention, getting those weeds out of there, exposing it to the sunlight, watering it, right? So it's interesting that this is coming up in this position. It doesn't feel like, you are in a place during the Yule season where you're wanting to stay in that old energy, where you're wanting to really, allow the past to really come up as a source of, painful memory for you. And that's brilliant. So it feels like you are in a place where you are stepping into your own power and ownership of your path ahead, which is brilliant, and which also speaks of the Emperor, which is what you're being called to embrace during this time. Now, this is beautiful because this is Aries energy, and it's very much about being the master of your own fate through diligence, hard work, and persistent effort. and responsibility, self-responsibility being a core value of the Emperor. And so this is very powerful. This is a major arcana that you've got here in a sea of minors, which means that the path on the other side of you really fully stepping into your Emperor energy and taking full self-responsibility, taking, really good stock of your own capacity for, reaching further and doing more and doing your best in a newfound way that empowers you is going to lead to some very significant changes in your next year that are going to be very welcome, right? Because when we're being called to be the Emperor, we're being called to really step into our own power. And that's a beautiful thing, right? We have a lot more options when and if and as we are able to do that, which leads me to what will result from you stepping into the Emperor energy? Aha, the Three of Pentacles, you don't say. This is absolute perfection for you guys because Three of Pentacles is very much about, it's about the work that you do that you particularly are good at, are brilliant at. It's about your expertise. It's the way in which you approach something that nobody else could ever get close to, right? For me, this represents giraffe energy. Right? Giraffe is one of those animals where if you saw a silhouette of them, or even, in real life, you would never mistake them for another animal, ever. There's just no other animal that comes close to, the giraffe's aesthetic, right? It is its own unique being. And so I feel like with this, what will result from you really stepping into your own power, releasing this pain of the past, especially around the stories that you've told yourself, around how things played out or why they played out in the past. You've got this spider energy here, which is about the stories that we weave, right, and that are woven. This is just really saying that you are able to not just be compensated and appreciated for what you particularly are good at, but for you to be confident enough to lead with that, and as a result of doing so, not accept less than your worth, right? Not accept less than your worth. That is Three of Pentacles energy. That is, I am aligned with my own self-worth. And so as a result, I am financially compensated. I have, great energy and feedback and positive offers and opportunities to me because they're aligned with my own sense of confidence, self-worth, because I know I'm good at what I do. Whatever that is for you, right? Because pentacles are about the earth, right? So that's the suit of the merchant. So it's anything to do with your physical reality. It can be about a business that you have. This can be about skills that you've cultivated over time, right? Whatever that might be, what your expertise is, what you've taken the time to study or practice or work towards, or even something that you're naturally good at, right? Something that you might have just carried over from a past life that you were just naturally really, really good at. And you really going, you know what? I deserve to be compensated and I deserve to see myself through, the lens of my own abilities and my own, merchant self, right? So I feel like with this, during this time, you can be called with the Emperor and the Three of Pentacles to really think about how you can uplift, promote, and really advance yourself moving forward, again, from that perspective of self-worth. And I'm not going to take a penny or anything less than I am absolutely worth. So I do feel like this is tied into that. It could be some ideas here with the Ace of Swords as well as how to expand your income or expand your potential around some sort of work or passion project that you have as well. This could also be calling into focus like your relationships with others within the context of your workplace or your line of work, and saying like, it's time to differentiate myself and really step out from the pack here and go, hey, this is what I have to offer. I have these great ideas that I haven't, shared, or I have this, other idea that could be like a side project that just feels like, if I don't do it, nobody else will. So let me really step into my unique individual genius and lead with that. And as a result of doing so, you're going to be well financially compensated and also recognized for it by others. I'm even hearing by others who do what you do, like, like people in your same line of work, right? Your contemporaries. And that feels really, really good. Now, your oracle here is gatherings, number 17. By the way, 1 + 7, 8. 8 is the number of financial abundance, which is all over this as well. Gather, gather, festive witches, speak of joy and drink to wishes. Take one, give two, celebrating all blisses. So I'm here for this, but of course, this is very much about the power of group work, the power of collective thinking, and then also just knowing that, especially with this Three of Swords that's coming up to be released, when you are able, especially during the time of Yule, this is a time traditionally where, yes, we go within and we're in stillness, but this is also a time when people gather around the fires and tell stories and really reflect on the previous year, and then, really sit and gather and really receive that benefit from being a part of a collective or a community, or people that just really get you and don't require you to do anything other than just be your fabulous self. So I feel like you're being called very much to do this, during this time. Really spend time with people who, really enrich your experience and really make you feel, warm and cozy, like you're sitting around a fire, which feels like a brilliant tonic, because I do feel like this Ace of Swords that you're coming through as, this is something that is mostly just done alone. Remember the tagline for this: in stillness, there are answers. So I feel like this is the balance, this is the tonic. You're gonna be doing this anyway on your own, whether this is through journaling, meditating, or just sitting, staring out the window, watching the snow fall, or watching the fire crackle, or, if you're in a hot climate, watching the sunshine, whatever that is for you. And so it feels like a really good balance to this kind of like hermit energy that is also tied to Ace of Swords, to balance that with coming out and really, celebrating, enjoying this time with others, because that's what this time of year is all about as well. So this is really brilliant, water signs. I'm very, very excited for you. It feels like you're really stepping into your power, and the potential as a result of doing so is just chef's kiss perfection with this Three of Pentacles here. So with that being said, I so hope that this helps, and I'm sending you so many blessings for a beautiful Yule season ahead. And with that being said, just thank you so much for being here, and as always, and most of all, thank you for being you, and be well until next time.